Students on Samford campus with connections to the Israel and Gaza tension encourage students to stay informed.
See how a family tradition turned into a long-standing Samford tradition.
SNN takes a look at the StepSync sign-up process. Samford News Network starts right now. Hello, and welcome to Samford News Network. I'm Courtney Robeson.
And I'm Nick Harston. Happy Halloween, and thanks for joining us.
SNN's Donovan Wyatt and Nick Harston have been actively seeking perspectives on the ongoing Israeli-Gaza situation.
The current crisis between Israel and Gaza has become a topic of debate. As tensions continue to rise, the need to be well-informed has also risen. Rabbi David of the Beth Hillel congregation has this to say on the subject.
There's very difficult to tell what truth is. So you believe in who you believe in. So Israel killed the people in the hospital and bombed it, or they didn't. But a lot of people don't have a burden to find out what the truth is. If you want to help people, you first have to find out what the truth is.
Samford students with familial connections to Jordan also stress the importance of being informed.
Of all, the biggest thing that you can do is to educate yourself on the conflict and to see both sides, not just like the Israeli side, because the American media tends to focus only on that side. And so just educating yourself on this conflict that has been around for years.
As the situation continues to evolve, we here at the Samford News Network will do our best to keep you up to date. For SNN, I'm Donovan Wyatt.
And I'm Nicholas Harston.
We'll keep you updated on the latest news in Israel.
The holiday season can be a time of celebration and a time of mourning. Our Caroline Spike spoke with a student who went through a life-changing experience around this time last year.
I can't believe this is happening. This wouldn't happen to me and my family.
Andrew Myers in a Waffle House parking lot, getting the news no one wants to hear. On his way home for Thanksgiving break, he received a phone call from his mom after an incident at work.
First thing that's going through my mind is he's just reporting the crash, he's just there, I'm sure he's busy, that kind of thing. But then shortly after, I realized or learned that there was 2 casualties in the crash, and the only people on that helicopter was my dad and the pilot.
Myers' dad, Jason Myers, was a meteorologist for WBTV in Charlotte, North Carolina. But tragedy struck when he passed away on November 22, 2022, in a helicopter crash, leaving his legacy behind.
I saw such a huge impact in so many other people's lives that he had, I guess, after he was gone. One of the things that he was so good about doing was asking, how are you? How are you doing? And he, genuinely cared.
During this grieving process, his fraternity brothers rallied around him to genuinely ask how he was doing.
It's hard because I've never gone through something like that, but I have had my struggles of bottling things up and not sharing with the people around me. And I just try to encourage them to lean into the guys that are here.
About 15 upperclassmen went to the funeral service over the holidays because Green says that's the kind of bond they have.
I think that we've seen that with the older guys pouring into Drew, but then after that, Drew pouring into the older guys and sharing his experience with that, because I know it's hard for him to talk about. But yeah, that's when special chapters are created.
It's been almost a year since the dreadful phone call, but Myers says it's shown him that it's okay to not be okay.
But it is okay to ask for help, and it's important to, because we can't go through this life alone, and reliance on the Lord is also super important during times like that.
For SNN, I'm Caroline Spikes.
If you are grieving the loss of a family member, you can contact the Samford Care Team, located on campus.
Midterms have come and gone, and finals are just around the corner. With this comes a lot of stress and strain regarding students' mental health. The care team is here to help in these tough times on campus or in the classroom. The care team is a group of faculty and staff from across campus that exists to help students of concern remain successful in and out of the classroom. The care team connects students that are experiencing unusual stress or challenges with a variety of resources to help address their concerns.
Here with our care team, we have a ton of resources to help students through all sorts of environments and throughout the semester. We have counseling resources with our counseling team. Our care team works really hard to make sure there's tons of resources to support students no matter what they're going through. We also have our food pantry. Online we have Campus Well that we put out each month with articles and videos and a ton of things to help you manage your wellness and take care of yourself through the stressful times of midterms and finals.
Elevators can be an important part of accessibility on Samford's campus. With our new construction on the way, SNN's A.J. Long takes a look.
When elevators go down, most simply suck it up and trudge up the stairs. For others, however, that may not always be an option. Here at Dwight Beeson Hall, or DBH, a main elevator has been out of service for much of the fall semester. Taped to the wall is a sign for the Office of Accessibility and Accommodations, which is itself located on DBH's second floor. Samford's Assistant Vice President for Operations, Planning, and Construction, Jeff Polishek, says it's a frustrating situation, but they remain hopeful.
Computer part for that older elevator got damaged, and they just don't have another one. So we're a little bit at the mercy of our elevator contractor, which is frustrating, but I'm hopeful. I don't really have a crystal ball or a wand, but I'm hopeful that within the time frame of this fall semester that thing gets up and running again.
It's part of something that Samford University is always trying to keep in balance, maintaining the older buildings on campus while building new ones. The current construction here at Samford Hall is just one part of a sweeping changes coming to campus over the next few years. Polishek says that they're keeping accessibility concerns in mind now that they have a chance to start new with fresh construction.
The new Samford, obviously, there's an addition that's going up right now. Brand new everything, walls, floors, ceiling, structure. We've got access to that building at different grades, and so there will be, of course, elevators in there, but at the same time, you'll be able to get to the building from a couple of spots coming off of parking lots. So instead of having to go downstairs, you'll basically come off of a ramp and you're right in.
While there may be problems with accessibility, there remains hope that the new developments on campus can provide an opportunity to evaluate and elevate this issue to the forefront. For SNN, I'm A.J. Long.
There are still students who are undeclared at Samford. SNN's Camila Figueroa looks into why that is so.
In this year's freshman class, 10% of the students came in undeclared. Why are these students undeclared? Last week, I talked to Howard College of Arts and Sciences advisor Dana Basinger, who explained that the undeclared freshman population composes of student athletes who are under the regulations of the NCAA, pre-farm majors, and students who don't know what they want to pursue.
After talking to Dana Basinger, I was curious. So I talked to the head advisor of student athletics, Colin Ash, who tells me why so many student athletes are coming in undeclared.
I'd like for our students to come in undeclared if they can. It helps us get a better response to help them explore what they're interested in. And so we start out taking those general studies classes usually, and then we'll start like with one intro class maybe to a major they're interested in.
Student athletes have to abide by the regulations of the NCAA, Colin Ash says.
They're not too restrictive. It's just more of a guideline of how they would like to keep students on track for graduation. Every student must pass a certain amount of hours each fall, each spring, and then a total amount for the year. And then there are numbers that relate to the percentage of a student's degree plan that they have to finish at the end of each year as well to help them stay on track for graduation.
According to the NCAA guidelines, Division I schools must follow these rules. They have to take 6 hours each term, stay consistent with their institution's average GPA, and stay on track with completing their degree. According to Samford's athletic bylaws, student athletes must get 90% of the average GPA by year 2, 95% by year 3, and 100% by year 2. Samford's method for encouraging student athletes to come in undeclared is to help students find their passion in a degree and to be able to hold academic standards by the NCAA. This is where academics and athletics cross. From SNN is Camila Figueroa.
Stay up to date on all your Samford news with us online. Follow us on Instagram at SNN Samford.
Or you can check us out online at thesamfordcrimson.com.
Still to come on Samford News Network. FIMU hosted their annual Bonamu concert for Children's Miracle Network. For more information, stay tuned.
See how a family tradition turned into a long-standing Samford tradition. Samford News Network will be right back.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to Samford News Network. One of the greatest Samford traditions, homecoming brought together current students and Samford alumni this past weekend. SNN's own Davis Domestic gives us the story.
Clear October skies and a lack of parking on campus can only mean one thing. Samford's homecoming weekend was another smashing success both on and off the field. While there are plenty of traditions associated with homecoming, Samford student Josh Jackson believes that community remains the heart and soul of the weekend.
In regards to homecoming at Samford, I think it's just a time to get to meet people that were in your shoes a long time ago and to possibly connect with future job opportunities and just kind of grow overall the aspect of the influences in your life through the homecoming experience, because previous Bulldogs come back and you get to actually interact with people that have been where you are and have gone past that point to encourage you or to give you lessons, anything like that.
On the field, Samford dominated the Citadel 37-7. Quarterback Michael Hires threw for 353 yards and 3 touchdowns, while running back Jay Stanton added 2 touchdowns of his own on the ground. At halftime, seniors Aiden Williams and Isabella Lopez were crowned homecoming king and queen, respectively. On the game, Samford linebacker Noah Martin said, quote, "We take things one week at a time. Every week is a new week, and now we're 1-0, close quote. But this weekend, everything just feels a bit more special." Reporting from Homewood, Davis Domestic, Samford News Network.
Put on those dancing shoes. Last Thursday night, Samford's annual homecoming ball was held in the Bashinsky Fieldhouse. Throughout the evening, students from across campus flooded in to enjoy a night of good food, good music, and good dancing. Among those attending the night's festivities were Samford's 2023 homecoming nominees. Representing the freshman class was Sarah Kate Camp and Seth Hills. Representing the sophomore class was May Sherrod and Landon Knight. Representing the junior class was Abby Batchelor and Samuel Gould. Representing the senior class were Bailey Baldwin and Sarah Grace Clark. Micaiah Collins, Isabel Lopez, Isaac Twitt, and Aiden Williams. Ultimately, the homecoming winners were announced to thunderous applause. Senior Aiden Williams was crowned homecoming king, and senior Isabella Lopez was crowned homecoming queen. Congratulations to all the homecoming nominees and winners.
One of Samford's long-standing homecoming traditions isn't quite what you would expect. SNN's Sam Allen has more.
Lots of universities have famous and long-standing homecoming traditions, but not every school can claim this one.
No guilt, no glory. No one needs to hurt themselves doing this, but somebody's got to tend the fire.
This tradition's name is Todd on the Quad, and it has lasted for over a decade. In this event, Professor Randy Todd, along with several willing hands, slow roast a pig over the course of 12 hours. The result is a delicious feast of barbecue for all to enjoy. The event comes from a deep family history of food culture. Dr. Todd says that the event got its beginning from his father's love for cooking, and he carried on its legacy after his passing.
So my father did it. That's where I learned it. He did it with his students, and then after he retired, we did it as a family. We do it in our backyard on a smaller scale, and that's where I learned it, and that's where I fell in love with it.
Todd on the Quad lets current students and graduates alike enjoy a meal together, and according to some, it's a great display of Samford's community.
I've been here 23 years, and so I get to see a lot of people that I taught over the years, and they come back with their kids. I was just eating lunch with a former student who now works here.
From a giant roasted pig to a giant Samford pig out, there is much to love in the small traditions of campus. For SNN, I'm Sam Allen.
Located on the east side of campus, the Christenberry Planetarium is a staple of Samford University. The planetarium is run by the physics department chair, Don Olive. It is the largest planetarium on a college campus in the state of Alabama. Since its reopening in 2021, this space has been used for events such as concerts and educational shows. Intern Ariana Allgood shares her experience working in the planetarium.
Eventually, I came here in the fall, and I still tried to get in here, but it was never open when I was around. And finally, I saw the posters for their Back to the Moon show last semester, and I came in, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing that I've ever seen. And after the show, I went backstage, and I asked Dr. Olive, hey, how can I help out? This was super fun.
The planetarium's next show will take place before the end of the semester, and it will focus on the realm of the real Star of Bethlehem.
Have you ever heard of Bonamu? What about Bonamu? SNN's Anna Hope Bingham is here to tell us more about this special event.
FIMU is hosting their annual philanthropy event, Bonamu, a concert for a cause.
Bonamu raises money for Children's Miracle Network Hospital. This year, Colony House headlined the event.
I feel like music is here because it helps people feel less alone, it rallies people, connects us, and when there's a cause, I don't know, there's something natural. I feel like that's why music has always been a companion to a cause.
Through Bonamu, FIMU raised over $11,000 for Children's.
For something like this with the Children's Hospital, of course, we're suckers, and we'll definitely, at any time we have the opportunity to kind of join up with someone to help out.
For SNN, I'm Anna Hope Bingham.
To learn more about FIMU's philanthropy, head to @CMNH Hospitals on Instagram. The Spanish Club and the Office of Diversity offered students a cultural experience through Latin American food.
Samford Spanish Club hosted their Hispanic Food Fiesta in Harry's Coffee House. This event gave students the opportunity to engage with the Hispanic culture through food. Students who attended the Spanish Club Fiesta were able to engage with a variety of different foods, including empanadas, plantains, and even some homemade guacamole, and they got to enjoy some jarritos to wash it down. Food was not the only thing that students were able to interact with. There was also a Kahoot that focused on key cultural people in the Hispanic world. Sean O'Neill leads the Spanish Club, and he shared some remarks about the global mission of the Spanish Club.
Our bigger vision and mission as Spanish Club for the globe is actually to promote multilingualism at its core, really, which is also just an appreciation for multiculturalism, not to water down cultures, but to elevate cultures and to elevate an appreciation and value for the uniqueness that each culture brings to the table.
This is just one of the many ways that the Spanish Club engages students on Samford's campus. For SNN, I'm Nicholas Harston.
Stay up to date on all your latest Samford news with us online. Follow us on Instagram @SNN Samford.
Or you can check us out online at thesamfordcrimson.com.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to the Samford News Network. The Alabama Crimson Tide's Chris Stewart paid Samford a visit last week. For more on his visit is SNN's Allie Durbin.
All heard around the world, or maybe just around the SEC.
Ball knocked away, Relaford at 2, launches it mid-court, buzzer, he hit it! Contact!
That was Coleman Coliseum, home of the Crimson Tide's basketball team. And that person screaming the call is Chris Stewart. Chris Stewart is an Alabama native and a University of Montevallo graduate, where he got his play-by-play start.
So bad.
But Stewart used Montevallo as a stepping stone to help further his broadcasting career. And that's what Stewart encouraged those at the Sports Industry Club meeting to do as well. Stewart encourages young journalists to use every opportunity they are given, no matter how big or small.
Treat every opportunity you're given as if it's a job audition, because you never know who's going to see it. At the same time, don't be too harsh on yourself when it doesn't go the way you want it to, or doesn't sound exactly like you want it to.
Students were able to ask Stewart questions and get insight into the world of sports broadcasting. Senior Davis Domestic thought it was a great opportunity for students.
I think it's just like hearing how he did it, and it's like mapping out how I can do it for my career. It's all about drive, it's all about who wants it more. And that's really in any field, but looking at how Stewart's done it, stuff he's had to overcome, it just shows tenacity and grit, and I think that's something I can adopt in my career as well.
Samford Sports Industry Club hopes to host more speakers with real-world sports experience this year. For SNN, I'm Allie Durbin.
For more information on the next Samford Sick speaker, check out Samford_Sick on Instagram.
Samford Athletics is taking a different approach to increase fan engagement. The Samford basketball teams will be having hoops in Homewood on November 1st at 6 p.m. in Soho Plaza. The women's basketball opener is to take place at 11 a.m. on Monday, November 6th. Traffic on campus is expected to be worse than normal. SNN's Mackie Corbett met up with senior Riley Stevens to find out more.
So breaking the attendance record for the first time here at Samford really means a lot, and I feel really special to be a part of it because, you know, women's sports, we've had to make our way up the ladder, and just like in a historical era, like we just started later, and I think it's great that women's sports are getting the attention that it needs.
Last Wednesday were the intramural football championships. The night was full of a lot of energy and a lot of competition. There were 4 championships that were played on the newly named Pete Hanna Stadium. There were an all-women's championship, a co-ed championship, and 2 men's championships. We spoke to one of the co-ed championship winners, Damian Rameau, asking about how special it was to win for the 2nd year in a row.
I mean, definitely special to win it, but I mean, especially with the guys that we won it with, just because I remember like competing with the guys before we played together, and then like middle of sophomore year, we were like, hey, if we got to keep playing against each other, imagine how unstoppable it would be if we played together. So winning special for sure, but getting to win with the group of guys and obviously the girls, me and Aaron played Powerpuff freshman year, so I mean, it's definitely special getting to do it with them more than anything else.
The next intramural sport coming up is volleyball. You can join or create a team by downloading the IM League app on your mobile devices.
The university held a ceremony today officially naming the common space on the 2nd floor of the University Center in honor of former Samford administrator and trustee Buck Brock. SNN's Caroline Vaccaro is outside the University Center now with the details.
It's an exciting day here at Samford University. I'm outside of the Ralph W. Beeson University Center. Moments ago, President Dr. Beck A. Taylor announced the naming dedication of the Buck Brock Commons. This is going to continue to be a space utilized by students for fellowship and for study.
President Beck Taylor just announced the naming of the Buck Brock Commons. Mr. Buck Brock served as a Samford trustee from 1998 to 2007. He then became Vice President for Financial and Business Affairs. As Vice President, Buck Brock led many institutional projects related to the construction and renovations of campus. Under Buck Brock's leadership, the complete restoration of the Ralph W. Beeson University Center took place, and now, as of today, the common area at the Upper University Center is known as the Buck Brock Commons.
Remember, as we
cherish Samford, that there are generations of people who came before us, who left this institution for us, who took their turn to build and to sustain and to enlarge and enrich the university. Their names are on the buildings around campus. They're on plaques and in portraits in the library. And it's important for future generations to know the name Buck Brock and understand what he did for this university.
Samford has several facilities that are named after the Brock family. These include Harry Brock Jr., who is a lifetime trustee whose legacy is at the Brock School of Business, as well as his wife, Jane, whose legacy is at Jane Hall in the Brock Recital Hall. Now, the Buck Brock Commons at the University Center continues the Brock legacy of generations of impact.
He impacted every area of this university, and it's important that we remember him in this way and always cherish what he did for us at Samford.
For SNN, I'm Caroline Vaccaro.
Thanks, Caroline.
SNN's Allison Williams takes a look behind the scenes of StepSing signups.
The leaves changing colors can only mean one thing on Samford's campus. It's time for StepSing. The long-standing Samford tradition is celebrating 73 years this January, and preparation is in full swing. StepSing is open for all students to apply, but each group has their own traditions where signups are concerned. Groups range from independent only, Greek only, class groups, gender specific, as well as a mixture of it all. One group who has participated in StepSing for years is Dudes Aplenty, also known as DAP. DAP is a male-only independent group who has won StepSing multiple times since its inception. DAP has some of the most well-known traditions and a signature move that has everyone cheering. So what makes DAP so alluring for the independent guys on campus? Junior Ethan Henshaw says it's because of the community created during signups.
But it's a lot of fun. People bring like Mario Kart and they play it. They'll bring card games. You meet new people because there are guys from all over campus that get to join. So it's a lot of fun.
This also allows for guys of all classes the same opportunity to get in, which is not always the case for those in fraternity StepSing shows. Sophomore Isaac Tate reflected on his first year and how it impacted his StepSing experience as a whole.
I honestly didn't have a lot of expectation going in of knowing what I should expect, but it was just really awesome to meet a whole bunch of upperclassmen that are super passionate about just having a community of independent guys that just come from so many different backgrounds. And so just joining as a freshman, it was really cool to just look up to those older guys that are really dedicated.
StepSing is set to hit the grid on January 25th and run through January 27th in the Wright Center. Get ready for an action-packed weekend full of singing, dancing, and competition. But until then, good luck to everyone running around campus or banking on a lottery spot to get into a show. For SNN, I'm Allison Williams.
That's all the time we have left for Samford News Network. Join us again next week for our latest episode.
In the meantime, get all your latest SNN news online at thesamfordcrimson.com or on Instagram at SNN Samford.
Have a great day.